Anyway, welcome to the stream, and thank you very much, Infinite Monkey Tales, for having me on board again to run the game. Just to let everybody know that this will be my last, tonight and tomorrow night will be my last public play of Those Dark Places, because the sequel game, Pressure, comes out at the end of November, which is the same game of a kind. The rules have been expanded upon with extra rules, things like starships and vehicles, and then loads of little surprises and a fully expanded setting. So it's using the same system, but it's stretched out a little bit more. But one thing I will introduce tonight is a overarching story arc, which I have planned for Pressure, and that's what I'm going to try and introduce tonight. So, well, let's just crack on, shall we? And I'm going to ask you all to introduce your characters, and we're going to start from the way I've got you looking, the way I'm looking on my screen, which means we're starting with you, Ange. Do you want to introduce your character, what their crew position is, and what kind of person they are? That was great timing. Well done, you.
Yeah.
You'll never choose me first. That's what you do.
Yeah. I am Judd. I am science officer / medical officer. I am a bit later on in life, so I do not suffer falls lightly. I'm quite strong, matter of fact, and maybe sometimes a bit blunt. I have to play myself, basically. So there you go. That's me.
Brilliant. Jake.
Yeah, I'm playing Ilan Ramon today. I am the helm officer and navigation officer, and the reason for that is because I was the last person to choose character and position, and I did read the book, and the book said every party needs to have a helm officer and a navigation officer, and nobody else had either of those. So
you're not only flying the ship, you're also navigating it as well.
I don't.
Oh no! Let's hope he doesn't die. What kind of character? What's he like as a person?
Well, he has a very low charisma. Not because he's not charismatic, but because there is a rumor going along that he's already finished his tours. He's actually completed his retirement in 15 years, yet he's still bloody at it. And nobody can figure out why. And he always seems to find himself in the worst jobs, the worst places. I mean, he's an educated guy. Helms, navigation, he has his choice of work, yet he keeps on joining these missions that seem to be difficult, boring, on the outskirts. People, so those rumors cause him to be maybe not very well liked.
Right, gotcha. Okie dokie. Tony.
So my character is Lexi Elliott. She is the security officer first and foremost, and also the liaison officer is second, because for most of the time them two come hand in hand, or at least it normally ends up that way. So Lexi is kind of more by the book as much as she can. I think the security side does come more often than the liaison side, so guns are always, safety off kind of thing.
Gotcha. What kind of person is she?
She's a little bit laid back, but she's very just, like I said, by the book, doing what she does. But if she's like very niggly, but she's very friendly as well. So it's like one of them friendly faces, but will actually just like not hesitate to just de-escalate.
Got it. Oh, good. And Mark, finally, and definitely not least.
Yeah, I'm playing Malcolm Resner, the ship's engineer. Also doubles as a helm officer if anything were to happen to Jake.
Oh, thank God. At least one of you's getting home.
Yeah. He's a former salvage contractor. The company he worked for fell on hard times, and he ended up signing up with these guys. He's probably in his late 40s, early 50s. He's a bit of a grouch, keeps himself to himself. When he has a drink, which he does quite frequently, he gets a bit irritating. So yes, I'm playing myself as well.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, brilliant. Okay, before this ends in divorce, let's crack on with the game. So, welcome everybody to Those Dark Places, published by Osprey Games, written by and designed by myself. And just a quick plug, I had to put that in. Look, I've even got the T-shirt on. So welcome to the game. Let's crack on, shall we? I don't know if you can see the image of the lovely space station over the red planet. But this is Clark Stellar Station, which is where you are at the moment. You're without a ship. You're just basically just a crew just hanging around waiting for the next job. And that's when you get a call from who is basically your handler. Calls himself Mr. Thomas, works for Cambridge Wallace. And it seems to be quite a hurried message. You're off on the station doing different things. Imagine basically New York, but in a space station. It's really busy. There's lots and lots of traffic. It's incredibly. It's a massive hub of activity. Excuse me. So you get this call to head up to what is basically a Cambridge Wallace briefing room, and literally saying, "I don't care where you are on the station, be there yesterday. This is, this is a big one. We're going to supply you with a ship. Just get up here now. We need a four-person crew for the ship. We need to get you off this station within the next couple of hours. The ship's being prepped as we speak, and this is a big one. This could be this could get you to retirement now. So get up here immediately." And that's the message that you all get. Upon arriving at the actual briefing room, it's low ceilings, stubby room. It's a little bit misty. Imagine it's the same cinematographer that did Alien, basically. So when you walk in, because everything's on low power systems, on low power just to save energy, it's quite dark and it's quite dismal. And there's two people in there. There's Mr. Thomas, who you recognise. He's sat at the back. Well, he's standing at the back with a cigarette. He's literally lighting another cigarette with his dead cigarette, and he's looking a little bit nervous. And sat at the end of the table, behind about 3 or 4 laptops, with loads of papers and flimsies, is somebody you don't recognise at all. But she looks quite like an important lady. Got a very severe haircut, so great to right back into a bun. And so looks like somebody's lasered on her eyebrows. She looks like she could kill a bear. And that's you all walk in. Thomas sort of looks up, notices you all walking over, and he kind of quickly, as she's typing away on the laptop, he quickly sort of drops his cigarette on the floor, stubs it out with his $5,000 shoe, and comes walking over. "Oh, I'm so glad you guys made it. I'm really glad you made it. Look, are you set? Are you good to leave within the next couple of hours? I mean, the ship's getting prepped now. I mean, we can get you spun up and sped up and out to faster than light within 3 days."
I'm ready. Ilan?
I have nothing tying me here now for any reason. I keep telling you those things will kill you. You got to stop that habit.
But to be honest, I stopped this morning, but then I got this call, and I think I've smoking about 3 packets before you even fucking got here.
Are we friendly with this guy?
Yeah, he's dealt with you a few times. He's got you some decent jobs. He dropped you in the shit once because whilst you were halfway to Aldebaran, the contract got cancelled because he didn't read the fine print. But other than that, yeah, he's not so bad. 9 out of 10 times he comes through for you. Could this be the one time he doesn't? Anyway, but
second time.
Yeah. Shit. 10 times out of 11, he wasn't so bad. But yeah. But yeah, you get on with him quite well. He's actually quite a nice guy. He looks like I don't know, Tom Hiddleston. How's that?
Okay.
But very nervous. I mean, and white as a sheet. He looks like he's not been on planet Earth for God knows how many years.
Yeah.
He desperately needs some vitamin D. But yeah. Right,
What's he eating you, man?
Look, I'm going to introduce you to we call her Captain Weaver. She used to be a naval warship captain, but now she's head of acquisitions on the station for Cambridge Wallace. So she's big fucking cheese, right? Want to introduce her? She's quite severe. She's not very approachable. Keep your questions to the end. Yeah, you all good for that?
Yes, sir.
Right. Okay, let's go. She just need a cigarette. Anyway, just follow me. And he turns and starts walking down this long table, long antique wooden oval table. As you walk down, she's not paying any attention. And he walks over and he goes, Captain Weaver. She holds up a finger. He's like, she goes on typing. And she stops and she closes the laptop. Captain Weaver, this is the crew I was telling you about. And she looks at each one of you in turn. Experienced, are we all? And who's in charge?
We all look at Ilan.
How can I help you, Captain Weaver?
Are you the captain, or have you just been appointed that?
I'm in charge of this crew.
Good.
How can my crew and I help you?
Well, we have a priority mission. When I say priority, this is something that needs to be done immediately. I assume that you've been told that the Gannet has been prepared for yourselves?
Gannet? When was the last time that thing was overhauled?
It was actually overhauled recently. It's not passed its safety checks yet, but unfortunately, time is of the essence. We need you on a mission quite quickly. I will fill you in with the details. I'm no scientist. All I can do is give you the details of what we've been given. Approximately 2.5 years ago, the Deep Space Research Vessel Pericles was on a routine survey mission under the command of Captain Sampson. When it discovered a small planetoid drifting freely in orbit of a dead white dwarf. There were no other planets in the system apart from some dust and a few rocks. But this planetoid seemed in a very, very tight and extremely stable orbit. It went in for a closer investigation, and well, let's just say that what they found there has made them come back here in quite a rush. This is not a short journey. This planetoid, this star system, is 18 months out. So this is not a short hop. So yeah, we'll be asking you to go out, pull a mission for us, and then come back, all in a turnaround of 36 to 37 months. It's a big job. It'll pay extremely well.
Our buddy here was saying that we might complete our contracts.
Even if you just started, there's a good chance. It's a long journey, so which means you'll get paid the traveller's bonus. But if this comes through and it is what we think it is, well, you'll be paid enough probably to set yourselves up for life and probably the next 2 or 3 generations following you as well.
You mentioned where you want us to go. You didn't mention why.
Let me tell you about Jeremiah. Jeremiah is a small dwarf star which died a very, very long time ago, and is of absolutely no interest navigationally or resource-wise. And our long-range probes thought that, but the Pericles was doing a sweep in the local area and picked up a peculiar signal. So it decided to go and investigate, against orders, of course, but it thought maybe it's going to find something of importance. And, well, as most starship captains, I don't know if you can actually relate to this. Most starship captains think if they can make a quick buck or get themselves a quick claim, they're going to go for it. And we don't blame them here at Cambridge Wallace. Many things have been found which have benefited us. But Jeremiah, well, why he went there, we have absolutely no idea. So let me show you this slide first of all, shall we? Yes, we do have slides. They took a lot of images, but some of the video footage that they took, unfortunately, didn't survive the journey back. It got corrupted. And she turns around to this massive, what he thought was just a plain wall behind her suddenly flickers. And it's like, it was a screen, but it had the image of a wall on it. Weird. And the massive picture comes up. It's like a vector wireframe graph of the star and then this planet going around it. As you can see, the planetoid is actually in orbit of the Jeremiah star here. But what's captured their attention was the fact that the orbit was not only stable, it was absolutely perfect. It stayed at exactly 1 AU away from the star. It stayed at a standard speed. It did not rotate. Let's just say, mathematically, this planet shouldn't exist. It felt more artificial than it did natural. That's the first thing that got their attention. When they arrived at the planetoid, they weren't equipped, unfortunately, for a landing or a proper survey because they'd already been doing that on 2 or 3 other worlds. So they would have done if they could have done. So they did some orbital pictures, as you can see, and she flicks to another picture of the globe, and it's literally like Venus. So it's smooth and round, and it's covered in cloud. I mean, thick, thick cloud. and a lot of it's roiling as well, like a really nasty storm. The actual size of the planetoid is roughly half of that of Earth's moon, so it is quite large, but obviously some of the readings they were getting as far as radiation and gravity was concerned basically told them that it was not suitable for habitation. And then this happened. She clicks another thing, and it's like a jerky time frame, like they're taking several photos and they've tried to make a moving picture out of it, like they used to do with the old Jupiter pictures from Voyager, and it sort of twists around, and you see there's a gap in the cloud, and underneath that, on the surface of the planetoid, is a black disc, a perfect black disc, just sat on the surface. They flew over this. It's roughly 200 meters across, and it is a perfectly round disc, and it measures exactly 200 meters to the micron from point to point. Now, I don't know if any of you realise this, but God does not make perfect structures, and this is a sign of either somebody's been there before and he's fucking with us, or something more important. And I think you can imagine what we're trying to get at here.
Like first contact or something?
Possibly. We're not taking anything for granted. Wayne Tanaka has sort of messed with us before with these kind of things. Other companies have put down false flags to keep us distracted. But this is so far out, 18 months out, and as far as we're aware, further than any starship has ever been before. The chances of us finding this place is 1 billion to 1. So if the chances of another company putting it there as some sort of decoy or trap, billions to 1. If this is an alien structure, well, like I said, everybody gets rich very, very quickly. Now, Pericles returned, has been completely refitted, given new details, and has been sent back because she is equipped as a survey ship. But something of this magnitude needs support, and that's why we've got the Gannet ready for you. One of the things that she came across, which she thought was a bit of a problem, was the fact that the atmosphere created a huge electrical static field, which would interfere with the artificial gravity and the null grav emitters of any landing starship. So they were concerned. So we've fitted the Gannet with a landing shuttle. So you'll be following behind the Pericles. She left yesterday, so you'll only be a day behind her. And you'll be arriving around about the same time that she does, and you will be able to land on the planet's surface. The Pericles, when you arrive, will take command of the mission because they're unfortunately they're better equipped, and the captain has experience with these kind of things. And no offence to you, you'll be the support staff. You'll be there to help out, to make sure that things are working and supply them, shuttling from surface to orbit, and vice versa, using the shuttle. I understand that 2 of you are helmsmen here, so that's perfect. That'll be working shifts. Until we get to the bottom of exactly what this is, that's all we can do. Now, the reason why the quick turnaround, of course, is because it took 3 days to refit the Pericles and get it ready for the return trip. And in that time, anybody could have found out what we'd found out, and we do not want other enterprises or interested persons getting there before us and making a claim. Sadly, the Pericles couldn't leave a claiming satellite because she'd run out. So anybody could get there now and make the claim themselves. We need Cambridge Wallace there first. Pericles is on his way. If you leave now within 2 hours, you'll be 1 day behind her. Any questions?
Not from me.
No questions.
So are we being outfitted for survey or for support?
Both. You'll be given equipment for survey, ground vehicles, the shuttle, of course, which you'll use the shuttle to take vehicles and equipment from orbit to surface. And support staff. You see, the Pericles, we turned it around quickly. We didn't want to employ anybody else because we trust this crew. And it has 4 members of staff, the Captain Sampson, and then Harris, Kojima, and Hunstatten. They're the 4 people on board the Pericles. Of course, something this huge needs more people, and that's where you 4 come in. We were going to send a full survey team and a proper full survey vessel, which is 20 people, plus staff, plus administration. But right now, we don't want that many people involved because loose lips send ships. So I need you to keep this under your hat. In fact, us telling you this now is basically just put you underneath quite a binding contract. And we would like it if once you've finished here, you'll be escorted to your quarters, wherever you've bunked, to pick up your kit. and then report to the Pericles within the next 2 hours, ready to cast off. Not the Pericles, sorry, the Gannet. I'm getting my ships mixed up, even though I wrote the fucking thing.
So you're scheduling us out in the Gannet as heading out and doing the necessary security checks to certify it.
Oh yes, you'll do your normal 5-day checks. We've managed to do most of it actually, so it's actually got it down to 3 days. We need to speed things along. And of course, we're introducing all this new equipment now, so ships can get up to speed and into faster than light in less than 12 hours. So as you know, we're rolling out this entire new way of running ships up to faster than light. But yeah, you'll be running your checks to make sure the ship's fine. Put it this way, we want the ship to make it, but we don't want you to put yourselves at risk. But to be honest with you, the amount of money that's involved, the risk is all yours, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Okay, so we go then.
All good? Any other questions?
And don't worry, Captain Weaver, you have the best crew for the job.
Well, Mr. Thomas... oh, yeah. Oh, sorry, who are you talking about? Oh, sorry, yes. Yeah, well, Mr. Thomas said you were highly recommended. He had 4 crews to choose from. Turns out one of them were already dead, and he said that you were probably the best ones to man the ship. And you know the Gannet as well, from what I understand. You've flown the same massive ship before. So you shouldn't have any problems.
If we don't make it back, the money goes to our families, yeah?
We will deposit details to your accounts now. It will be accessed by you upon return. Anything that should happen to you, yes, that money will be opened to your next of kin. I take it you've all signed the standard waivers and contracts for transferal of funds to next of kin, yes?
Yeah, probably.
You may want to update them. You're going 18 months out. I'm not going to lie to you. You know what deep space missions are like. And you're not going to be back for 36 months. So in the first 20 months, your accounts will be put under review, and in 24 months, the money will be allowed to be accessed by your next of kin in small amounts, depending on how much they need it. But you know how contracts work. Upon arrival, of course, then your accounts will be fully released. No matter how the job turns out, I must stress, we're not expecting major results. This is an initial survey. We just want you to get there to claim the place and to verify what's on the surface. And then when you come back, well, your life is your own. You can go back to Earth, you can charter a new ship, you can do whatever you please. But we will ask you to sign NDAs, of course, and you'll be part of the Official Company Secrets Act. You will not be to talk, not even this briefing.
Shit, give me the paper, I'll sign it now.
All agreed? A verbal agreement will be absolutely fine. We can take your voice print and we'll take your signature on file to put it onto the contract. All you need to say is, I agree.
I agree. Can we get a move on then? I want to get out and see this thing.
You seem impatient.
It's something that sounds very interesting. Of course, I'm impatient.
I admire that. Okay.
Change things as we know them.
As you, when you exit the office, there will be a security officer who will be assigned to each of you. They will escort you to where you've bunked, where you can gather your belongings, and then they will escort you to docking tube 17A. She stands up, she starts closing. She's got 3 or 4 laptops, and as she's closing, you can see there's people's faces on each of the laptops, as if they were listening and watching what was happening. She's closing each one, and she stands up. She presses a button, and the image behind her shimmers and disappears, and returns back to a normal wall. It's been an absolute pleasure, and good luck out there.
Thank you, Captain.
Okay. Thomas starts walking towards the door. She's sort of packing her stuff up, and he sort of escorts you to the door. Look, guys, there's already been rumours and flying about, and people asking why the Pericles has such a massive turnaround. I do know there's been other contract officers asking questions about this, so just keep it to yourselves. They've been trying to plug a leak for the last 6 months of information getting to other companies, and I'm under review. You're going to be watched like hawks, so just take it easy. Just be careful.
Come on, Thomas, you know this is just going to be some routine illegal mining operation that some company set up there without, staking a proper claim, and all this is going to be some internal bullshit of the corporations going after each other.
I agree. And fingers crossed that is the case, and I 100% agree. But you remember what happened on what was that planet? It was called the Bologna incident. Do you remember that? The guy thought he'd found, I think that's what it's called. He thought he'd found an alien race, and it created so much tension and problems. It actually killed more than 1 million people on Earth because of the theological and the sociological impact of actually finding an alien race. People were killing themselves out of sheer fear, and then it turned out to be a melted iridium mine. So, we need to keep this under hats, not only because it might be something huge, but because of the ramifications of people thinking that we found an alien civilization. Christ fucking might. It sounds stupid saying it out loud, but yeah, we might have found an alien civilization after all these years. And think of the money we can make. Come on,
we get paid whatever, right?
That's true, but you've got to make it back for me to get my motherfucking bonus. So you make sure you guys don't die out there, yeah?
No, don't
assuming that the ship is okay. I mean, what's the big deal? We're just going to be support anyway. We can just sit on our asses for.
Yeah, but I don't know. If what I've heard about. Shit, man, I shouldn't be telling you this. Look, if what I've heard about Harris, the science officer on the Pericles, is right, I think that she may have been one of the leaks. And they didn't realise that until after they fucking sent her back. So, yeah, man, you just need to be careful. Because when somebody's put into a corner like that, you don't know what they'll do. So, just be careful, yeah. All of you. Even you, Angie.
Judd. You mean Judd, but yeah.
Oh, sorry, yeah, even you, Judd.
You should have said, Ilan, he's the unlikable one, apparently.
Yeah, exactly. And do yourself a favor. Lay off those cigarettes. It'll be okay.
What? You're absolutely right. But from now on, from this moment onwards, I'm not touching a single cigarette.
Yeah, I've heard that before.
Yeah, good luck, guys. And as you walk out the office, inside you hear the rustle of a cigarette pack and...
Yeah. You got a spare? You can stick my head back in.
Oh, he's got about 20 packets in his blazer. Yeah, I'll exactly. I'll be through these by lunchtime. So
I don't smoke. Yeah. I'm just going to use them to annoy him.
As said, outside of the security guards, these aren't guys in suits. These are proper, fully. Oh my god! These are proper booted and suited security officers in body armour with accelerator rifles slung over their shoulders. So they're not fucking about. The little holographic badges of their names and their precinct on them. They're obviously employed by Cambridge Wallace. The big CW on the helmet gives that away. But yeah, they each escort you to each of your bunks wherever you're bunking down, so you can gather your belongings quite quickly, and then you take them to the docking boom. So, if we can please see an image of the Gannet.
Yes.
The Gannet.
And there it is. She's a decent ship. She's very old, probably about 60, 65 years. So she's done quite a few runs. If you can imagine that she's been doing like one decent mission every 2 years, yeah, she's got a lot of light years under her belt. But she's a decent ship. She runs extremely well, and yeah, she's reliable. And yeah, you've served on a vessel like this before. The main hangar area, the largest area on there, is where the shuttle is. And if you can imagine, the shuttle looks like sort of a smoothed out Huey helicopter, but with big circular jet engines on the sides. Enough room for 8 people and about a ton of equipment in the back. So yeah, it's a good ship.
Okay. So as soon as we get aboard, I'll head to engineering and run a few checks myself.
Okay, then just run a standard engineering roll for me. Just a D6 plus your engineering plus 2.
Okay. Oh, why is it rolled twice? That's terrible.
I don't know, but you can only take one, so please roll again.
You can't get to my dice because they're hidden me under that.
Plus 6.
Plus 3 is 7.
Plus your education, sorry, yeah.
Yeah, so education, that makes it 7 plus 2 is 9.
9, brilliant.
Yeah.
Considering the fact that she's done a run recently, the engines are in extremely good condition, both of them. She could run quite nicely on one engine. It'd take twice as long to get there, but yeah, she's running extremely well, and the gravity drive is in really good condition. It looks like it's been overhauled recently. No, she's not going to give you any trouble.
Cool.
Nice.
I'll report that off to the captain.
Does anybody else want to do any checks?
Yeah, I will do the checks.
I'll just be in just check out the Oh, I haven't got a medi, have I? Wow.
No, it's part of the storage. Like I said, she's not properly built for this sort of thing.
I just
But
go
she's
and
been
check
co-
it's
but she's-
stocked up
she's
and stuff
converted.
like that, and then go.
Okay,
and
make
stop,
a science roll. So
Yeah, I
what are these?
can't. So can someone roll for me? Because I can't actually get my dice. It's hidden behind the black. Everybody else's dice rolls.
Oh no.
That's why it was zooming in and out because I was trying to get it and I couldn't get it.
Okay, so
it's
I'm-
behind. Okay.
It's like everyone else has done their rolls, all the numbers. I can't get rid of that.
Oh, you can clear the chat with the little bubble.
You just click your dice at the bottom of the tray.
She can't see her dice at the
I
bottom
can't
of the
see
tray.
it. So I'm going to run across and get my dice off the desk in a minute. So
okay, no worries. So what's your education?
My education is 4.
And what's is science your primary? Yeah.
No, medical's my
So science is your second one. Yeah, plus
Yeah.
1.
No.
So it's going to be plus 5 then.
I thought
Yeah.
science was.
So that's a 9. So I'm
gonna
just
get my
rolling for you
dice.
then, Ange. Yeah.
well done.
Okay.
Nice.
But she gets back so I can fill her in with the details. She leaves her floating mug in there. Okay. Oh, good. So, yeah, you got a 9. The equipment that you've been supplied with, a lot of it's been put into the shuttle. A lot of it is being sort of meshed and put behind all the webbing, cargo netting and what have you up the walls. This is top grade equipment. There's millions of dollars of adjusted dollars.
Wow.
Modified dollars
Okay.
of equipment in here. And this is from probably some of the best science stations around. There's even some stuff from Earth. It's this is top quality material. They've spared no expense. Oh shit, there's dinosaurs in there too. No, they've spared absolutely no expense. There's just the equipment is top notch. There's analyzing equipment. There's satellites. There's boring equipment. Just this is a scientist's dream.
Yeah, it's science equipment, so it's all boring.
It's not an engine.
Nah.
I don't give a shit.
I'm happy with
telling
that.
you.
Yeah.
Oh, you only have to follow the money in these cases. It's somebody's illegal mining operation, and company doesn't want anybody to take it over when they could take it themselves.
And who cares, man? We're getting paid anyway.
Yeah.
Looks like the helms, the bridge has been completely stripped out and replaced. New seats. Some of the consoles have been replaced with the new holographic stuff. But there's still the majority of it, still the big clunky CRT screens and everything's analog and flow switch. I mean, if it works, it works. Why spend the money and being fancy? But yeah, it's everything's all nice. They've even given the windows clean. So yeah, it's and the leather smells like it's been rubbed. But yeah, it's everything looks. You can still tell that she's an old ship. But it's all the extras and all the cleaning and all the replacement parts. Yeah, they all stand out. But yeah, she's a good hardy ship. She's a good hardy model of ship.
Nice.
Any other questions or anything anybody wants to do before you cast off?
I think it's just that obviously Lexi would do her checks.
Yeah.
Because that's not something she's ever going to scrimp on.
Yeah. Security-wise, by the looks of it, the doors have been reinforced. Also, the security on the doors has been upgraded as well. These were just usual sort of pass card, but now it needs biometrics and retinal scan as well. So, which is expensive again, which is expensive stuff. And you can tell that it's been patched in. It's been fitted in the last day or so. Literally, the entire panel, the unit which they fitted into it doesn't actually fit the wall panel properly. And they've literally just hammered it into place. You can actually see the dent marks where they've actually forced the paneling back to get it to fit. But yeah, this is top range security. So to get on and off the ship, you will need biometrics, which is your thumbprint, and you'll need a retinal scan as well. They've already got that on file, so that's already been uploaded to the ship. So as of now, only you guys can access the vessel. Or at least your eyeball and your thumb can, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if there's enough time, I'm going to check the ship's manifest just to kind of correlate the inventory to physical, what's listed there, see if anything is missing.
You get two things from that. One, the manifest matches up perfectly. When you're going around the load, the weight, it's down to the kilogram. So, yeah, someone has done their job. But you also notice that the ship's transponder and its logs have been wiped. So it looks like the ship has been starting from scratch, but it's not. She's got about 500 light years under her belt, so it's, yeah.
Oh, I've got a little question as well. In terms of Lexi being security, does she have access to? Can she get access to personnel records?
Sorry, say again. You cut out then. I'm sorry, Mark.
Sorry, can she get access to personnel records? Lexi being a security.
She can ask, but as they said, the situation with the leak is making things difficult.
Okay.
You can roll a d6 if you want, Lex, and if you roll a 6, then I'll allow a little bit of information on one person. I'll go through each of the people. I take it that's what you're looking for, yeah? People on the Pericles, yeah?
Well, I was just wondering. I mean, this probably wouldn't be Malcolm's thought, but I didn't know if Lexi might want to look at. Maybe
sorry, I'm losing sound a little bit. Sorry, guys, 1 second. Sorry, say again.
It could be me. I was just wondering if Lexi would want to look at the record of this person that's supposed to be potentially a leak.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't want to.
Well, she might, as liaison officer, even be able to access that more than security, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not playing your character. I just wondered if that was a thing she could do. If you chose to do it, I don't know.
You can give it a shot.
Yeah, I can roll and we'll see.
This will be one of those instances, though, where I will say don't roll a 1 because they're going to want to know why you're doing it. You know what I mean? So it depends on what you're going to be using your charisma anyway, because you're going to have to sweet talk your way past a couple of people. But are you going to use your liaison or your security? You're going to be official or you're going to be smarmy?
First and foremost, I think because 10 more to follow rules, it would be security, because it's a potential security risk for my crew and my mission. So
this is true.
It'd be security.
Okay, go for it then. So make your roll, add your charisma and your security level.
So security's level 1.
The security, your primary, your secondary?
Primary security.
So that'd be +2. And then whatever your charisma is.
So it's 2 dice plus charisma? No,
it's 1d6 plus your charisma score and +2.
Oh, it's been a while. Jesus. So charisma is 3, so it's 5, so it's 7.
7. Okay, well, you didn't roll a 1, so that's a good thing. But unfortunately, no, the roll's not good enough for you to get any information. By the looks of it, the personnel files and all 4 of those people have been locked down, and nobody's going to give up any details.
That makes sense.
It's worth a shot. It's always good to know who you're working with.
Yeah. Any other questions, or you're good to go?
Yeah, for me.
This is Grant Stellar Station Control. We have you as a emergency departure at 14:20. We're going to unlock the docking clamps now. Can you confirm? Hello, Gannet.
It's talking to you, Alan.
Hello, Gannet.
This is the Gannet. Don't we have a communications officer?
No.
It's all down to the helm, baby.
Station Control to the Gannet. Please respond.
This is the Gannet. We copy.
You having communications problems there, Gannet?
We're just testing out the systems now. How are we sounding?
No, you're sounding clear. You're coming through 5 by 5. I had to say it at some point.
Root.
We are releasing docking clamps. Can you let us know when you are clear of the gantry and under your own power, please?
Copy that.
Gannet.
Yes.
Did you hear our last instructions, Gannet?
Oh crap! Yeah, I see where this is going. Yes, copy that. Can you retest communications, please?
Certainly, I've just done a reset here. Just give me a second, please. What the fuck's going on with this one? I don't know. I'll sort it, don't worry about it. We are releasing docking clamps. Can you let us know when you clear the gantry and underneath it under your own power, please?
Copy that.
Thank you. Retracting docking tube now. And in the door sealed. And can you make a helms roll, please?
Yes.
You pilot the ship away. As long as you don't roll a 1, you'll be fine.
Roll a 1.
Don't roll a 1.
I didn't roll a 1.
Oh,
Yeah, double 1.
You pull the ship away.
But that is a solid 6.
Yeah,
So.
no, absolutely no problem at all. You pull the ship away. You slip her out sideways. You have to go quite a way out. There's quite a lot. I said there's quite a lot of traffic, but they've cleared a corridor for you, so you can get up to speed quite quickly. Thank you, Gannet, and have a good journey. See you in 36 months.
Thank you. See you in 36 months.
You tilt the ship, hit the power, and yeah, you're going to spend the next 3 days now doing your systems checks, just to make sure. And then once you get up to 99% of light speed, then you can jump into your pods, and then she'll make a final jump, final acceleration. Okay.
Technical question.
Go for it.
Did you say we're going into pods? We're not going to be awake for 30 odd months, are we?
No, you're going to go to sleep for 18 months.
Oh, thank God for that, because these are so boring.
Oh shit! Suddenly you were on pods.
Yeah, you can tell who hasn't read the book, right?
Yeah, and you've said that out loud now.
Hey, I know, right?
All right, guys. Before we settle in, what do you say we get rid of all the emergency procedure that we have to go through, all the testing and stuff? Let's just run through those exercises in the one day, have the next 2 days to kind of chill out. And so who's going to schedule all the emergency procedures and checks and exercises that we got to do?
Oh, I've already got that listed.
All right.
You sort that out. I'll just go and get the rum out the lockers.
You need to be of sound mind to do your checks. We don't want anything to, go awry with your experiments and whatnot.
I've sorted them. They're fine.
Let's just go ahead and do them, log them that we did them, evaluate each other, and enjoy the rest of the journey.
Yeah.
Can each of you roll a d6, please? And I just need to know if any of you rolled a 1.
Oh, flipping heck.
So that'll be you then, Ange.
Yep. Yep, there it is.
Yeah, just Ange. Oh, 2 6s, that's good. You do your checks. Everything seems to be in order. Everything's secured. Power flows fine. The engines are ticking over quite nicely. They're working within parameters. She's set up for automatic now. You can see that mark. Once she hits 99%, she'll hold until you all be registered as asleep, and then she'll make the final push into light speed, into faster than light speed, and then she'll keep accelerating until it's time to slow down. Yeah. Everything looks absolutely fine.
Yeah.
There's been improvements now in the long sleep pods. There's no longer a 1 in 6 chance of anybody relieving themselves whilst they're asleep. But because you are going to be in such a long, extended, long sleep, you're going to feel it when you get out the other end. So prepare for lots of aching limbs, a little bit of atrophy, and a massive handover. So yeah, you make the jump.
I'm middle-aged. I already know what that feels like.
That's me every morning.
Yep. Every morning, every time I get off a chair.
This close to the speed of light, there's weird, sort of long, thin rainbow colours appearing outside the cockpits. Which is always quite a sight. People are told not to look into it for too long because it does strange things to the mind, knowing how fast you're going, how small you are. But the long sleep chambers, which are in each of the bunks, are all quite welcoming and quite comfortable and quite wide now. All you need to do is just attach the monitors, the little pads to yourselves, which will monitor. There's no injections required anymore. If you want to take a sleeping pill to help you off, that's fine. But the gases that will be pumped in will help you. And then one by one, you all drift off to sleep. Suddenly, nothing, actually, I'm joking. So, you jump in and then, who rolled the 1, by the way? That was Angie, wasn't it, Angie? Yeah.
Maybe.
Okay, well, you're the first to wake.
He's going to make me poo myself again, isn't he?
No. They've actually solved that problem now, because it was funny when I first wrote it, but now it's like everybody's done the shit joke. So, lots of improvements on starships now, which you'll find in Pressure out in November. Ooh. So, you're the first to wake, and on the inside display of your pod, by the looks of it, it's actually flashing up threshold reached, which means you're almost at your destination. You're only about 4 or 5 days away. And looking at the dates and looking at the time elapsed, you've done 80 months.
Oof.
There's also, to the left of that, there's another screen which will tell you if anything's gone wrong, of all the problems. And other than the usual stuff, which is just systems rebooting or restarting, there's nothing that's flashing up in red. There are a couple of things in amber, which we all need looking at. But other than that, everything seems to be absolutely fine.
Okay, I will get up, walk out, and are we all in the same kind of?
Yeah, you got bunk rooms. You can the long sleep pods are put in different rooms. You can sleep pretty much wherever you want.
I'm going to wander off. I don't know what they do. Shower, freshen up, and then go and get some coffee on and wait for the others. Yeah. And maybe have a look at some of the amber things and see if they relate to me.
The amber things is basically like a communication thing. By the looks of it, there's been a message chasing you since you left, because messages can't go faster than starships. So they basically sent a message after you to arrive, for you to pick up when you arrive. Okay. There's been some system restarts, but they're all secondaries and a couple of backups. It's nothing to be concerned about. The engineer might want to check them out just to be on the safe side to make sure they've not shorted. Yeah. But other than that, everything is well within parameters.
While I'm waiting with my coffee, I might try and open that message.
Yeah. Good morning.
Morning. Do we respond to it? Or was it just like a recording?
No, somebody behind you just said good morning.
Oh.
Wait a minute.
Oh, sorry about that. See, sci-fi. This is why I don't play sci-fi. I'll talk about. Is it morning? Oh.
You turn around. Then we cut to you, Jake. You wake up in your pod. It's exactly the same. By the looks of it, you're within 5 days. Your threshold's been reached. There's a few problems with the systems, but it's just standard stuff that you're used to. In fact, looking at the readouts, she's actually, considering the age of the ship, there's very few problems, so which is quite pleasant. But yeah, you've got a pounding headache. Your head feels like it's stuffed with cotton. Feels like your nose is all bunged up. And you're hungry. I mean, really hungry.
So as I get up, I'm going to see, just on the screen, who's still in their pods and who's up, if anybody's up.
Sorry, I forgot your name.
Judd.
It's Judd.
Judd. Sorry, Judd. You can see that they're up, and obviously the coffee machine's been activated as well. You can actually smell fresh coffee drifting throughout the ship. The air's a bit stale. The life support system probably kicked in about 6 hours ago, but there's always a really weird kind of cabbage drifting through the air while the scrubbers are cleaning the system.
All right, I'm gonna just, maybe even just over the comms. Hey, Judd, it's Elan. How you doing?
There's nobody there, and you turn around. There's nobody there, and then you hear Jake's voice drift over the comm.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
No, it's okay.
I still shake my head like, okay. Over comms. Yeah, fine. Coffee's on.
All right. Okay. Take your time. I'm SCC, which is basically shower, coffee, communications, in that order. And I head over to the showers.
Not SSS then.
I was literally about to say that, and you completely beat me to it. Bless you for thinking of it as well.
Yes, I heard earlier that we were, beyond the poo jokes. So
yeah. Oh, mate. Don't listen
shower,
to me.
Coffee, communications.
Yeah, you get yourself into the cockpit. You still, like I say, your head's still a bit thick, and any bright light is giving you a bit of a headache. that's when you wake up, Tony, and then exactly the same thing. The details are there. Everything seems to be absolutely fine.
Yeah, so just get up. I will just announce myself on the communications as you do, like, yes, I'm awake, I'm fine, and then go about starting my day with doing a bit of exercise to get the stiff muscles going.
It is really. I mean, you've been on long sleeps before, but measuring about probably your best one's probably about 7 or 8 months, but 18 months, holy shit, man! It's like you've just walked up a hill and they're expecting you to do press ups. It's not good. It doesn't feel good at all. But you'll get over it. It'll take about 20 minutes to get your back up to speed, and then Mark, you're the final one to wake up. Yeah. Whoever it is lying next to you, sort of gives you a sleepy squeeze.
Oh. Just rub my eyes, smile and go, lay in.
Yep.
And I look across to whoever's just giving me a little squeeze.
Oh no, you're on your own. Again, you're getting the readout saying you're there. Everything seems to be absolutely fine.
Okay. Look a little bit puzzled.
Yep.
Sits up, dry heaves a couple of times. Where is everyone? I hit the comms.
Coffee's on.
Yeah.
I'll be right there. I'm just getting out of the shower.
Yeah. Yeah, you're in the cockpit, and the ship's sort of moving at quite a speed. Then you notice on the readouts, you're actually a lot closer to the planetoid than your initial readouts said. As if the system's slightly out of sync. By the looks of it, you're literally minutes away. Okay, so according to the systems, then, Jake, you're looking at the as you're approaching, you're actually minutes away, not 3 days away.
That makes no sense. Oh, Malcolm, what do you make of that?
Make of what?
We're supposed to be 3 days away. We're minutes.
What? What are you talking about?
We're almost there.
Oh, you laid the course in, man. What?
Do you not see the same thing I saw?
Hold on a minute.
Maybe they
improved out of the goddamn
ship.
shower. I'm just getting out of the shower. Take it easy, man.
Oh man.
I'll go and have a look at the nearest comms panel or technical readout panel or whatever.
There's like starship status readouts or whatever across the ship to keep everybody appraised.
You must have fucked up the navigation or something.
Well, no,
maybe it is. Judd, can you check into the systems, please? Are we where we're supposed to be, or are we where we say we are?
Fine.
Muted.
Can't hear you.
Okay,
Sorry.
fine. I'll do your job again as usual, and I go over and stomp over to the main panel.
Yeah. According to the
will
readouts, the actual planetoid itself is out of position. You're actually 8 minutes away. You need to decelerate right now.
I was like, Alan, for
Excuse me.
Catherine.
Pete's sake, you've effed up.
You know,
I mean,
Judd, you and Malcolm, you're just two peas in a pod. What do you mean?
So stop your lips flapping. Get up here. This ship needs stopping. Otherwise, we're going to crash into this planet. We're 8 minutes away. Don't be a knob jockey and get your ass up here now.
What do you mean we're going to crash? What?
You're now 7 minutes away.
Whoa. Well, I'm going to initiate, kind of slowing down and not crashing into the planet procedures. To use the technical term.
Yeah. To break suddenly like this without going through procedures, the Starship's computer system's not going to like it. As far as the system's concerned, you've navigated correctly, you're in the right position. It seems to be the planetoid that's out of position, not you. So you're going to have to convince the ship that that's the case. So can you make a helmsman roll? So you're rolling a d6. Can you add your education and add your helmsman skill, please?
Is it possible I can add some assistance to this, being an engineer?
No, you're not up in the helm. Remember, you just got out of the shower. You just said. I mean, you can run up. You can run up if you want to, or run down to the engine room to see if you can basically tell the ship to stop fucking about. But that'll take that'll take another minute off your approach time for you to get down there.
I'm going to be getting ready to do that. Let's just say I'm going to run down. I may not make it in time, but I think that's what a proper engineer.
If you take an extra minute to go down to the engine room to sort of convince the ship to slow down, or at least sort of bypass the safety protocol so that it does slow down, that'll give an extra +1 to Jake's roll.
Okay.
Do you want to sacrifice
at this point,
minute?
I'm not waiting the minute, though.
No? Okay.
Oh, I'm not waiting. Go do what you need to do, but I'm not waiting a minute. 7 minutes is like...
Yeah.
So just for... my education is 2, and Helm Officer first position gives me a +2, so it's +4 to this roll.
Yeah. You need to roll at least an 8.
Okay, and is it rolling? Did it roll?
Yeah.
9.
Yeah.
It did.
And that's a 9.
Okay.
Excellent. You sit yourself down, you get yourself in, you sort of strap down. The ship isn't going to like it. She's not going to like it at all. But you shut down the drive engines, you engage the retro thrusters, you even turn the null grav up to full to help sort of help the ship take some of the pressure off the inertials. And the converters are screaming. The ship itself, you can actually hear the hull sort of... You know what I mean? It's literally going, this isn't right. There's all alarms going off, the lights go black, and then they come up red. As the emergency lighting kicks in, the ship is not liking this at all, but she is slowing down. When you get down to the engine room, there's all alarms going off. It's trying to release some of the pressure. The engines are being put under. You can see gases coming out of different areas. It looks like it was lovely clean earlier. The overheating is causing a lot of condensation now. Right. Because it hasn't been long since the life support was turned back on. There's all sorts of shit in the air, and the heat is turned into liquid. Every now and then you'll see a pop of a panel as the light goes. You see rolling screens because they're not responding properly because they don't know what the hell's going on. Some guy up there trying to drop you from 99% of the speed of light in a few minutes. You know what I mean? This ship's not built for that.
Right, I'm going to run to the nearest engineering panel and see if I can do something to relieve some of the pressure on the engines then, if that's possible.
Okay, so you're making a D6 roll plus your education and plus your engineering skill level.
Okay.
Again, difficulty is going to be 8.
That's 11. Yeah, 11. Not bad.
Nice.
You dive over, and you can see exactly what it needs to do. And if you can convert that, if you can shunt all that energy to the blah blah blah. I don't know. Go Star Trek technical terms. Basically, you do the antimatter billy bobs, and the actual flippy will start working. You start pulling levers basically and kicking shit in the bollocks.
Yeah.
The engine doesn't like it at all, but at least it's not going to break, and you've got something to travel home in. But yeah, if you look on the outside of the ship now, basically the ship is like nose down, and the arse ends up as it's trying to slow, and there's all gases spewing out from all loads of different areas, and liquids as well, freezing in space as soon as you start slowing down. And then in the distance, Jake, you see this little tiny white dot getting larger and larger and larger, and that's the planetoid. I'm going to need you to make one more roll, please, but you also will get a +1 because of what just happened, what Mark just did in the engine room.
Okay.
So your difficulty is still 8, so make all your rolls again, but you get an extra +1.
Okay, same thing. So it's 5 plus this roll.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Brilliant.
So I'll...
Yeah. You've managed to slow the ship down. The ship, like I say, the ship doesn't like it, but you're now 50,000 kilometers away from the surface of this bright white pearl.
Well, Malcolm, there's going to be a lot of condensation to wipe off of these knobs. But how's the ship holding up there?
Yeah, it's going to be intact. We should be able to get home with it. Let's put it that way.
The alarms are still going off. Some of them are winding down now that the emergency is kind of over.
I mean, I'll go and switch them off manually if that's a thing I can do. Yeah.
Shut up.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Then the normal lights, the red lights go out and the normal lights kick back in. But yeah, you made it.
Might have lost Jake a bit.
Oh dear.
This is serious.
While this is all going on, I shout across to Lexi. Have you tried to get hold of the Pericles? Just because she's liaison. I just thought that was the nearest thing to communications.
I've not even finished my coffee yet. I don't fully understand
Yeah, I'm
what's
fine.
going
Thanks,
on.
TJ. Thanks for asking.
You muted, Tony, by the way.
I've barely finished my coffee. I don't understand what's going on. What?
Your coffee's all over the floor
I'm just
now.
knocking the coffee up.
Yeah, that coffee ain't on the table anymore. Well, for some reason, Alan's messed up, and we're nearly crashing into the planet, and we're only 8 minutes away instead of 3 days away, and yeah, it's all messed up. So I'm just wondering if we might have left Pericles behind in the precise place we should have been. Can you open up lines of communication with them?
Well, remember, we were a day behind the Pericles originally. Now we're 2 days ahead. Perhaps. Lexi?
I don't know how space works.
What?
That's the line of the game. that's your new
Clearly.
quote now.
Clearly, you are no Uhura. Clearly.
I will get finished up, and so I'll
Yeah.
try doing the.
Can we
You
clip
get
that,
into-
someone?
Yeah, you
Just
get-
did an Angieism.
I don't know how space works. Well, you're in the wrong
Space is
game.
big.
So, yeah,
Everybody
you
get your towels to clean off the knobs.
I'm there. We're never going to get away from that word. So, yeah, you get up
I
to
mean,
the
I
top.
know there's a bit of sexual tension between Malcolm and Ilan,
Yeah.
but come on.
Come on, we don't need a towel, and we certainly don't need knobs.
No.
So you get into the bridge, get to the communication seat. Yeah, at the moment the communication system's got a little bit haywire. There's loads of interference from the energy output from the engines, and it's really weird because now that you've stopped, all that crap that you spewed out behind you, they got like ice particles drifting past the ship now. And you can hear them tapping against the hull as they go past, like long just chunks of water that's frozen into space and whatever else it had to vent. No doubt you'll be able to figure that out at some point, Mark. But right now, you're just glad that nobody exploded.
Yeah.
So that's interfering. But yeah, you can jump down. And straight away, as soon as you turn the comms on, it runs a sweep of the area. And there is the Pericles pinging 20,000 kilometres above the surface of the planet.
Oh.
Ah.
Okay.
Excellent.
Yeah. So the Pericles is here. They're already down there waiting. So we're not behind them.
No, that means the planetoid moved?
You're right, like.
John, could you check into that? My brain hurts.
Yeah, that's technically not able to happen. So, I think the computers have either messed up or you've messed up, but yeah.
And the Pericles too? They're supposed to be.
Well,
Maybe
they
we
obviously messed up something. Someone's messed up something. So, get in touch with Pericles. Let's see what they say.
Yeah. So I'll try raising them on comms.
Go on then.
Beep.
So
Pericles.
Come in,
This is the Gannet, Pericles. Pericles, come in, Pericles.
There's an open channel, but there's no answer. At the moment, the Pericles is just a tiny little dot in the distance above the planetoid.
is that
Okay.
within range of what would normally be
yeah,
effective?
yeah.
Okay.
In regard tech side, do we got things like scan for life forms?
You can do basic. You can't scan for life forms, but you can do basic sort of scans, looking for heat balloons and that sort of stuff. Or you can do. I mean, you've got onboard sort of telescopes as well for long distance sort of checking out that sort of thing.
So we could use the telescope to look through the window of the Pericles to see if anyone's walking about.
No.
Yeah, well, you can see the Pericles at this distance. It depends if Pericles is faced towards you. It's brightly lit. They've got all the lights on the inside and the windows are open. You'll be absolutely fine.
The lights are on, but nobody's home, miss.
Yeah.
But it's possible.
I don't think you meant those kind of telescopes.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe me and Tony aren't the best to play the space games.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay, me and Tony are going to go and clean up the kitchen.
Bloody hell.
Wow. Welcome to the 19th century.
It seems that's the only way to go forward right now, because we're just saying all the wrong things.
Judd, remember in the briefing that we got, there was electrical interference. Is it possible that we're too close to the planet and our communications are being affected by the electrical interference that was described?
Yes, that's probably correct.
Okay, perhaps we should navigate the ship out of the range. What distance do we need to be from the planet so that we could effectively communicate with the Pericles?
Oh, that'll be 10 clicks.
Yeah, go on then.
All right, sounds good. Malcolm, I'm going to take the ship 10 clicks above so we can attempt communications with the Pericles.
Yep. You start getting closer to the Pericles. The communication channel's open. They should be receiving and sending now.
I think on hearing that, I think I'd want to check that the comm systems actually function. Then we haven't damaged it in our acceleration, maybe, or deceleration. Sorry.
Yeah, apparently, by looks of it, the comm system's working absolutely fine.
Okay.
You're sending and receiving absolutely fine. You're receiving actually on 2 channels. There's 2 channels open. There's one channel to the Pericles.
Somebody's broadcasting, or is it?
As in somebody's got a communications channel open, and you've managed to tap into it. You basically, it's like having on a switchboard. You can see that there's 2 lines working. That's right. A similar situation.
Okay.
You see that there's one line which is directly to the Pericles, and there's another line directly to the surface of the planet.
Oh.
Oh.
As you get close to the Pericles, you see that she's in a bit of a state. By the looks of it, her engines have ruptured and blown apart. Her port side engines torn to pieces, and there's all sort of weird gantry, sort of steel metal bars, and all twisted out of shape.
Would that be consistent
with
doing an emergency deceleration like we just did?
Mate, I won't even ask you. That's a good. Okay. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I was going to ask you to make a roll to see what it looked like, but no, you've got to the conclusion yourself, so that's cool. Okay. By the looks of it, she's done an emergency deceleration. At least that's what it looks like. Since she's overloaded her engines. Of course, you were in the engineering room, so you saved that from happening. So she hasn't exploded. She's literally just swelled up and popped in the arse. Oh my God, what am I talking about? So it's basically just torn the engines apart. What is happening? Right?
The official term is bum sack.
There we go. Thank you. She actually exploded in the bum sack. Yeah. So the back end of the ship's knackered.
I'm sorry. It's also you have to blame chat.
I'm not in chat. I purposely stay away just in case.
Because Flea said by accident clicks his kilometers. So Brian said clicks his kilometers, and he went, "Ooh, Jinx, you owe me cock."
Well, that's just got us banned.
What kind of game do you think we're playing? It's not those kind of dark places, you bastards.
It's like, how are we supposed to have read that? I'm not quite sure. And he's like, no, go.
Are we on the Twitch Pornhub? What the fuck, man? Did the entire stream start with...
Have a Coke and a smile.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
Brilliant.
I don't know if that's
anyway.
A great
back to the serious horror game.
And Brian says, I did not reference a rooster. Which is worse, mate.
Right, Mark will edit that bit out.
Yeah, go for it.
By the way,
ruin it.
We are not sponsored by Coke, just because we mentioned it several times.
Yeah. Other beverages are available. Yes. And other porn streaming sites as well, by the sounds of things. So, okay, sorry. So, yeah, it looks like the engines have basically swelled up and ruptured. And she's adrift.
Oh, we better go check for survivors. I mean... I believe it was Captain Harris.
Samson, yeah, Harris was
Samson.
The science. Yeah.
Well, we gotta see if we can, I guess, use our shuttle and try to get there, or.
Oh, we can dock, right?
The ship that you've got should be able to dock. By the looks of it, her damage is restricted to the rear, so there is a side airlock where you can connect to with a docking tube.
Yeah, we can connect with an umbilical to the airlock.
If you can bring up a picture of the Pericles next to the Gannet, if that's okay.
Well, look, everybody, our mission stays the same. We're still here for support. And it clearly Pericles was set up for this type of exploratory mission. We will continue our support by going in and trying to support anybody who is still alive.
Excuse me.
Okay. I mean, if anybody's in that engineering compartment, they were probably going to be in a bad way.
If anybody's in engineering, they're definitely dead. There's no way. There's no way to survive that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's exposed to space. You can actually see the engine core. It's actually it's been held in place by one girder. It's got 16 support girders.
Okay.
And only one girder remains, so that it's all bent out of shape. And there's no way, because they're basically tiny singularities, there's no way an engine core can be ruptured unless it's something that you really want to do. But they're nuclear proof to stop that from happening. But yeah, the engine's been torn apart so bad that it's barely hanging on.
All right, I'll bring him. I'll bring the ship in and secure docking procedures. Everybody else start to suit up already, please.
Okay. Swing the ship around.
With that much damage, would life support still be working on that ship?
At the moment, you can't tell. There is so much interference from the damaged engines.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you can scan the ship, and you can see the rest of the ship from the cargo bay onwards seems to be in good condition. There's a little bit of impact damage probably from the debris that blew off from the back. And she is rotating slightly. So that tells you, and she's in a stable orbit. So that tells you that she might have, if anybody was still alive, they may have used thrusters to get her into a stable orbit. But right now she's slowly tumbling.
Okay.
Which means that if you want to,
that's going to be tricky. Yeah,
it's going to be a tricky docking maneuver. So who wants to helm that one?
I believe I'm still the person. I'd like to helm, but I'd like somebody else to roll the d6.
I tell you what,
Lord, I can't see with no responsibility.
I'll come up to the bridge and maybe I sit in the co-pilot seat or something, and maybe we can work something out together. Yeah.
Now you've got helm score as well, haven't you, Mark?
I do. Yeah.
Secondary, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, then. So whatever roll that you make, then Jay, you get a +1 2 roll.
All right.
And the difficulty is going to be 8.
Malcolm, it doesn't look pretty, but hopes is survivors have been able to hold up in a secure location and at least keep oxygen there.
What did you mean? What did you mean when you said evaluate each other before we got in the sleep pods? What the fuck was that all about?
I said evaluate. No, the standard procedures, going through the emergency preparedness procedures, and just click that everybody did fine. Standard procedures. I mean, this is nothing. That's what I meant. That's all. Just we all have to do it. Put the paperwork in order so we all get paid properly and they don't dock us for improper procedures and not following through with preparedness and emergency procedures. Yeah, this isn't our first rodeo.
I know,
it's
man.
The paperwork.
Never bothered with it before. We're just wondering where the fuck it came from. That was all.
You know the sensitivity behind this mission? They're scrutinizing everything. I wouldn't be surprised if they're listening to us
Alan,
right
stop
now.
with the flip flapping and get on with it.
Yeah, you need to concentrate.
Anyways. So my roll is a 4 with another 4 plus 1 is 9.
Brilliant. You bring her around, you marry the ship up directly, so you're docking umbilical. So if you can see, your airlock is on the right-hand side, but so's theirs. So your ships will be facing in opposite directions, but level. And your midsection will be aligned with their rear section. And then your computer then locks it into a trajectory. As soon as you're happy with it, it locks it in so that both the ships are rotating slowly together.
Is there a way to stop that ship from its kind of listing to stabilize it so that we can...
The only way you could do that if you wanted to stop it now is by using your ship to do that, which means connecting halls. And that's a risky maneuver.
Okay, yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Well, this won't take long. Be in there 5-10 minutes, see if anybody's alive still that we could save, get them onto the ship, and let's get the hell out of here.
Okay, who's going in?
I'll probably get suited up because I'm medical.
Yeah.
I wasn't not going to go in unless I'm needed here to.
Well, somebody's going to have
adjust
to
the
keep,
ship,
make,
which is
keep
fine
the ship
too. It
adjusted.
doesn't matter.
Yeah. Can't trust the computer to take everything
okay.
into account. You'll need somebody on the helm.
Captain stays with the ship.
Coward. Yeah. No problem. The rifle that you have, there is a rifle in the locker. It's an accelerator rifle. It's a mag drive rifle, so it can be fired in space with no recoil. It's a single shot though. You'd have to reload manually each shot. So, but you will get one shot per round if that's what you want to take with you. No reason. Yeah. The spacesuits that you're given, you use bog standard spacesuits. Look like this one. I don't know what film that's from. So you're given bog standard spacesuits. They're not armored because they weren't expecting trouble. Let's face it. But you do have 12 hours of oxygen, so you should be absolutely fine.
Okay.
On the advice of chat, I think the captain is going to say, "Okay, guys, when you get into the ship, split up to cover as much ground as quickly as possible and bring whatever survivors you have back."
Okay. I grab a post-it and I just write the word "don't" on it and slap it over the umbilical release button. And I give Ilan a withering look.
You get into the airlock.
Don't worry. I promise you we're all going home together.
In a box. So you get into the airlock, you cycle it shut, and then the actual docking umbilical is basically just a framework, which you can walk across on your magnetic boots. You can feel the pressure. Your suit ripples as you step out into the vacuum. And there's little bits of debris floating past. There's nothing violent, just drifting past every now and then. Something small will bounce off your helmet. And the real fine debris sort of just bounces. It's like almost like a rain on your helmets against the visor as you sort of go across. The larger debris is already drifted away. Some of it, as you're going over the planet, you can see some of it glowing white as it hits the atmosphere below you. It's quite beautiful if it wasn't so tragic. You get to the other end of the tube, of the umbilical, and the doors are locked. But as soon as you get to it, it starts to cycle. You step inside.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you look at the Pericles, the airlock is on the right-hand side, and it's location number 6. So you step through there. The airlock cycles, but very slowly. And you notice that the inner door isn't closed properly. And looking through that inner door, for the small circular porthole, whatever it is, viewport. The engine's gone, and it's taken the back wall of the cargo area with it. So that's all ripped away, and there's loads of stuff just drifting in the air. So crates, supplies, frozen lumps of whatever moisture it was. It's a bit of a scene. The door will open. You'll have to hand crank it, but you can get it open. And you basically step into a cargo area, to the left of which there is no wall. It's been ripped out, and you can actually see the engine core again hanging on by one girder. And everything else just sort of stretched out. It's quite horrific. If there's anybody in here, or if there's anybody in the engine room, they wouldn't have stood a chance.
Mm.
Okay. So, obviously we'll come out here, so I would probably go and see, I would go to the nearest room, as we come out, which is to the laboratories, is that?
Yeah.
Is there windows in those doors?
No, there's not. They're actually sealed blast doors, and on the picture, you'll notice that all the doors that are marked in red are locked. They're emergency sealed because of the loss of pressure.
Okay. So I would make my way up the main corridor then to try and get to. Oh gosh. So if I went up towards the common room, that X is a door, yeah?
Yeah.
So that would go into a corridor, and that other X is a door. So if I was to open that door and then go in and reseal it.
Yeah.
Okay. So Tony, you came with us, yeah?
Yeah.
So on the comms, it would be we're not going to get any of these doors. We need to get to them. These are going to all be sealed because there's no pressure. We need to head up the corridor to the first door and try and get through. Over and out.
Yeah, well,
Very tense.
if they had as little time as we did, maybe even less, they might. People might still be in the bunks or the bridge.
I think if I recall from the quick looking at the map, the layout, if we go straight up, they'll take us to the common room. The bunks should be further up from there, so we'll just keep going up, seal the doors as we go.
Okay.
I'll prepare some extra suits here on the ship in case you find survivors and their suits just weren't accessible and now they're gone.
Yeah, the guy behind you says there's no way anybody survived down there.
Huh?
Sorry, what?
Hmm?
So anyway, back on the Pericles. Yeah, you're heading up that corridor towards the middle door. The door is sealed, but it's not locked, and there is power to it. As you're heading up this corridor, you feel a little bit more weighted, and as you're heading up the corridor, it feels like the gravity plates are actually still working, so you don't need to use your gravity boots.
Right.
But there is a lot of debris that you have to keep moving out of the way. There's all kinds of personal effects, just drifting. And then once you hit this part of the corridor, anything that you take with you drops down to the ground under normal gravity.
It looks like emergency power's still working, so I guess life support's still on too. Before we head up that corridor, I wanted to check.
Sorry, Mark, did you go with them?
I was across there. I thought I would have done, being an engineer.
Sorry, I didn't realise. Sorry, yeah.
No,
okay,
you know what I did. I don't think I said. I just assumed. I just assumed.
So you're still on the ship.
And when I assume, I make.
Yeah, we all know what happens.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you want to go, then that's absolutely fine.
I just thought it would be appropriate for an engineer to go across. That was all.
Yeah, okay, that's absolutely fine.
Hey, I just wanted to tap on one of these doors to see if there was a response on the other side. There's a couple of these rooms off the cargo bay, right? The cargo bay is open to vacuum. And so I want to go get a wrench and hammer on one of these doors that are just off the cargo bay to see if there's any response from the other side.
Yeah. Meanwhile, back on the Gannet, that voice came from behind you, Jay.
I'm probably spending my time cleaning the switches, of the control, the switches and controls of the station, and I look behind me and I'm like, I'm gonna tap communications. Do I see anybody or?
There's nobody there, no.
No, nobody there. I just heard nobody could have survived that. I probably thinking that myself, but
It's been through a stressful few minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll just make sure the cleaning products that I'm using aren't too strong, not too much ammonia in them, and continue monitoring. Did you guys hear me? I said I'm preparing the extra suits in case you need to bring over for the survivors, if there are any.
Yeah, we heard you.
Roger that.
Okay.
Did you guys hear him say about the whole evaluate each other bullshit before we got in the pods? Did you hear him say that?
Yes.
Nah.
What the fuck did he mean by that? We've never done that. What the fuck's he?
He's just towing the line. I think after the last job that went not so well, I think he's making sure that we do everything properly this time.
I mean, this is a bigger job. This could we could be retired. Everything needs to be above board.
And the last time we messed up was because we didn't do everything above board. So he's just.
Speak for yourself.
I know.
Meh. Let's just get done and out of here.
You banged on the door, but there's no answer. According to the readout, behind this door is pressurized. Of course, where you are, you've got gravity, but nothing else because you're exposed to space. So you can open the door if you want to, but whatever's on the inside of the door.
I'm an engineer. I know that would be a bad move right now.
Right, let's just get up to the main corridor. Let's try. Let's just. Lexi said we need to get through to the bits that are pressurized. Check, because anyone that's up there we can save. We can't. We can't save anyone in these lower rooms right now. So let's just get on with the job in hand.
You want to open the door?
No. Which hole there?
While we're down here, am I able to keep trying the communications and stuff, like in the ship?
Yeah, you can still try and patch in. Again, both channels are open, but there's nothing.
Just nothing. Okay.
But if there is a channel open down to the surface of the planet, that means there's something on the planet for the channel to be open too.
Yeah.
Which means either they had a shuttle or something's made it down to the surface of the planet. But the channel's open, but like I say, there's no. On the switchboard, the line's open, but there's no answer.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
So you between the two. Yeah, you've got that.
I'm just
all the red
forward.
doors are locked. So like I say, you've got that door ahead of you now, which is still closed. Like I said, behind that door, it's probably pressurised. It might be pressurised. On your side, it isn't. So, do you want to open the door?
Have we got like anything to anchor ourselves to?
Oh yeah, you've got belt hooks. So
Yeah.
on a zip line, not a zip line, but you know what I mean, like a wire, which is probably about 10 meters long. That you can.
Okay.
You can
Yeah,
attach
so
that.
I'm going to attach one of those to the wall, and I'll gesture to the others. If you're going to open that fucking door,
So, I know this
Which
might happen.
door?
Does it?
I think
Is
it's that one straight ahead, right? The one that's not locked.
Yeah,
This one.
Yeah.
yeah, that's the one.
So, I mean, I'm guessing we all kind of know this, but if it's pressurized on one side, unpressured on the other side, would stuff come out or we go in?
Yes.
Stuff will come out.
Stuff come out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if
Very
you-
quickly.
But if you look, if that door ahead of us is shut, which it should do, it's only that
It'll
corridor.
only be- yeah.
I mean, realistically, even if it's got pressure on the other side, you open the door. All that happens is that the other side will get cold and lose its atmosphere. Nothing will really come blasting out unless it was overly pressurised.
Okay.
But for cinematic purposes, yes. If you open that door, if there's anything behind there, it will come out.
Fast. Ooh.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah, so we'll follow Malcolm's lead.
Yeah. You're first, Malcolm. So, yeah, you're going to open the door?
Yeah.
You hit the switch. A warning comes up saying unpressurised on this area, but there is an override which you can do. And being an engineer, you know how that happens.
All right. Brace yourself, Rodney.
Yeah, you press the button and the door just literally just goes. And it's pressurised on the other side. You see there's light on the other side as well. And the poor innocent survivor screaming gets. I'm only joking. So no, the door opens as well. And loads of bits and bobs and debris and boxes and everything comes blasting out. I'm going to need each of you to make an agility roll, please. The difficulty is going to be 6. So D6 plus your agility.
Oh, this is.
Oh, I found my thingy, by the way.
I'm glad to hear it.
Oh, just 6.
Excellent.
Oh, 7.
7.
I've lost your thingy.
Get your thingy back, Mark.
I'm trying to get my thingy back.
Sort your thingy out.
Yeah.
Not a big fan of this. Ooh. I'm going to roll a dice.
Go on
Real
then.
Dice.
D6 plus your agility.
Oh, a 10. There you go.
Okay. On a D6, I think you might be cheating. No, I'm sorry. Anyway, so you make the roll. All the bits and bobs come blasting out. Angie, you rolled dead on 6, didn't you?
Yes.
Yeah, a metal storage box, like an old toolbox, clangs against your helmet, and that spins off and then out into space. But literally within seconds,
Flipping heck.
everything just dives down, and and on the other side, it's just a corridor.
Get in, quick. I sort of step
It's not
through
going to matter now.
and shut the door.
When you shut the door, the system identifies that the door was closed and repressurizes. Basically, this small part of the corridor acts as an interior airlock. And it repressurizes.
Yeah. They're
And
pretty
now
lucky
you-
that there was nobody in here, wasn't it?
I don't imagine there'd be somebody waiting in the corridors. You know, there's procedures and whatnot.
I just need to roll the
Procedures? They're missing half of the ship back there. I don't know if you noticed.
Well, yes.
I think procedures probably went out into the vacuum along with the rest of the ship.
Yeah, but procedures to keep them safe. You know, for this exact reason, you know. You never know that somebody might come and save them. Lucky enough we were here. Probably
What happened to you, man? You used to be cool.
Wow. Probably gonna go to the left, and try one of the first doors.
Yeah. They're both sealed, and you need to make a security roll to get past the existing security.
Wow.
So
blimey.
it's a D6 plus your education and plus your security level.
Oh, education. Oh no. Okay.
I can help. I'll come and help her.
Have you got any kind of security skill? What's your?
I've got nothing.
Nothing. No, you won't be able to
don't
tell
need
that.
your
I'm,
help.
but I've educated to 4.
Well done.
Don't need
I-
your help.
I'm not smart, but I know security.
She just got a hammer and hammered the shit out of it, didn't she?
Yeah. So it's I got a 10. So.
You got a 10. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah. By the looks of it, the system shock to the system has probably disabled a lot of the more powerful security setups. So yeah, you override it. The door slides open. The room itself is wrecked. It looks like the hall's been hauled, and the artificial gravity is off. Everything in here is drifting, and there's a few sparks, which is just, if you can imagine, like welding sparks drifting through vacuum while drifting through zero gravity. It's weirdly beautiful. It leaves little streaks on your retinas as it goes past. But yeah, this room's absolutely wrecked.
That's a lab, isn't it?
And you can tell how deadly the room is because directly in front of you, literally drifting directly at you, are the glazed eyes of a corpse.
Oh.
And I need you to make a pressure roll, please.
Who?
Tony.
Me.
Yeah.
So pressure.
So add your strength and education together, and then roll a d6, and add it all together.
Yeah, that's fine. Strengths. That's 9.
9, so it's
Not
fail, I'm
enough.
afraid. So that
When we
means
start, our
your
pressure
pressure
bonus-
level. Sorry.
And our precious bonus pressure level is set at 0 when we start a game.
Yeah, your pressure level sets at 0. Your pressure
Yeah.
bonus is your strength and your education added together. Yeah.
Okay.
So that gives you a pressure level of 1 there, Tony. So you're our first victim of the evening. Well done. I'll send you chocolates. So the corpse itself appears to be a female. Well, you can see on the badge on a suit that it's Medical Officer Kojima. She's got a huge gaping hole where her hip and most of the half of her chest used to be. Roughly about the same size as the hole that's come through the ceiling and through the floor. So it's obviously come through the top, burst through her, and then gone through the floor. So it would have been quick. But she definitely won't be getting a deposit back on the kidneys that she bought. But she's she's just drifting with a quite surprised look on her face, on a frozen face, I should say. As you open the door and sort of start to go in, she literally just comes out of the gloom. It's quite sort of dusty and smoky in here, and it's almost like she's looking directly into your eyes. She's not, because she's fucking dead, but she's got glazed eyes, and she's white, and she's crystallized all over, and she just drifts in, and her face, as you're standing still because you're immobilized for a round because you failed your pressure roll, her face comes up and literally just bounces off the bowl of your helmet. It's not, and her nose breaks. Not that she's bothered, but she's quite dead.
Oh my god. Some of these people just didn't stand a chance.
What are you talking about? There's procedures and stuff.
Okay, well, we need to go and check the next room. And I walk straight across, and I grab the hammer out of Malcolm's hand and bang on the 4B.
Yeah. You sort of bang at it, and I mean you can't hear anything through the vacuum now because now that you've opened this door.
As I've tried to do, I shout back, "Shut that door!"
I've said a horrible thought actually. You opened this door whilst this corridor was pressurised, so you all would have been sucked into this new room. But I never thought of that, so I'll let that one go. So that's a reminder for next time. So that's all cool. So you turn around and think, "Oh, I'm glad we thought ahead and opened that door slowly." And then you go back to the door and you bang on 4
B.
4B.
I mean, press
No,
your
4D,
helmet against it when you.
Oh, yeah, sorry, yeah,
Yeah.
4B, yeah. And there's a moment, and then in response, there's a boom, boom, boom on the other side of the door.
Oh shit! Everybody, strap yourselves.
Oh, well, hold on a minute. Wait. Is it absolutely? There's no pressure here at all at the moment in this area we're in, right?
Well, if you close the door to 4C, which you just opened, is
Yeah.
it 4C? No, sorry, 4A,
4A.
just
Yeah.
opened. The pressure will equalise again in this corridor.
Yeah.
Only when you open that door.
I've got to say, there's somebody in there. Close that door. We're opening this door, and I start to do that. And
I'm
Lexi,
anchoring myself.
Lexi, you can get us in this door and anchor yourself down.
Are you closing the door to 4A, yeah?
Yes.
Oh god, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so the other, the corridor pressurises within seconds and doesn't mess about. And you're going to open the door to 4B?
Yeah.
I will
Anchor ourselves in
Yeah.
and open the door.
Hold on, before we do that, do we know Morse code or anything like that? Are we trained in that kind of shit?
I suppose you can make an education roll, and if you roll 8 or more, then I want to say yes.
Go on then.
I mean, the
Fine.
thing is that whether or not
I'll do it.
Go on.
anybody on the other side knows it is the other problem.
So I've
but-
got. I have 4 in education.
You're smart.
Yeah.
I say I know Morse code, and
I mean, you want to tap out a quick message like,
are you alive?
no, opening door or something.
Yeah.
Just to let them know.
Okay, you tap out the message, and then behind the door, you get the tapping. You can barely hear it through your helmet, but now it's a bit easy now that there's pressure in the room. And it just says help.
So does that mean there's pressure on that side of the door?
I hope so.
Unless somebody's in a
Well, no, because we've
spacesuit.
sealed it. So if we open the door and there's pressure on that side of the door, it will
Then
just
it'll
open.
be fine. It'll just be an open door. Yeah.
And if it's not, and they're in that room, they'll be suited up then, wouldn't they? Otherwise, they won't be able
If
to
it's
tap.
not in there, then yeah. If they're alive, then yeah, they're obviously taking precautions.
Yeah,
I don't
okay,
know. I don't know. What do you think?
Don't ask me what I think about science.
Shit.
But I knew that. I knew that if there was pressure that side, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So, Lexi needs to do her security thing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And open the door.
You open the door.
So that's security.
Well, no, don't worry about it now. Now that you know how to get through the door after passing the first
Oh,
one,
okay.
you just do the same thing on this door, so you don't need to roll.
Oh, cool.
Cool.
If you flip over the panel, you press a few switches, do a quick bypass, it's no problem at all, and the door slides open. This laboratory smashed to pieces. There's lots of gravity still works in here. But yeah, the computers are all shorted out. Things are coming off. I mean, the shock of obviously that went through the ship has just torn cupboards apart, and there's all smashed glass all over the floor.
Yeah, but
See anybody?
who's in there?
There's nobody in here.
Huh?
There's nobody in here.
But-
Meanwhile, back on the Gannet. As you sort of sat there, and every now and then you're doing small adjustments, keeping the ship aligned with the Pericles. You see that below you, the planetoid is slowly sort of turning around, and then on the horizon you see a change in the cloud, as if there's a gap in the cloud, and as the planetoid sort of rotates, there on the surface, you see that black disc. And it just kind of just glints in what very little light is coming from the dead star, or the dying star. And from, it's peculiar. It's kind of glossy. Imagine like the monolith from 2001, except it's a circle. The black circle. And it's, it's just weird. Tiny little planetoid, and on the surface, covered in cloud, and on the surface is that.
Pericles from the Gannet. Come in, Pericles. So, there's no communications. Malcolm, do you read me?
Yeah. What's up?
I'm sending over a document to you now. It's your evaluation. As you'll see, it's absolutely perfect. You got top marks and everything. And all I say is you're lucky that attitude is not one of the qualifiers that we have to put on those reports. It's going to be the same for everybody. I mean, I don't even know what you're going on about. It's just standard procedures.
Hey, Ramon. Do you want to bring one of those fucking spacesuits over here? We got a survivor. Actually, we don't.
We don't.
Leave the ship, but you got a survivor. That's fantastic.
No, we
who
haven't.
survived? What's his name? What?
What?
What do you mean no?
You just said there was somebody responded. You said there was a.
There's nobody in there.
Yeah,
Look,
it must have been an echo.
A what?
The room is wrecked. There's nobody in there.
It must have been an echo.
Well, the echo had to come from somewhere. Find that survivor.
Well, we knocked and they knocked back, so it must have been an echo of our knocking
Well-
back. We knocked and the echo bounced back and knocked.
And it said help.
And it responded with a different message to the one you sent.
It was just an echo, and we misinterpreted it. Right, let's shut this door. Let's go on to the next one.
Hey, Ramon, maybe you want to hold back on Judd's valuation? Just for a little while?
I told you these things are just formalities.
Yeah, you keep saying that.
Hey, you were the one that fucking mentioned it, pal.
Malcolm, you can knock the next door.
That'll be the door leading into room 3, which is the common room.
Yeah.
Okay.
As the planetoid, sorry, back to you, sorry, Jay. As the planetoid sort of rotates, you see the picture. It's directly below you now, this disc. And it's as it was in the picture that you remember seeing back when Weaver was given her little presentation. And you also remember like, the cloud around it was perfectly formed as a circle around it, like the cloud wasn't forming over where this disc is. But you can see in from this distance, just to the right of it, it's like a smear just next to the disc on the right-hand side of it. Like a line and a little black dot at the top of it. Like there's something on the surface. You don't remember that from the presentation.
Yeah, I think I'd like to use a ship to either scan or take a photograph of that so I can compare one against the other. And I'm going to try to use my memory. I mean, this has been a year and a half, so anything could have happened in a year and a half. It's a long time.
So yeah, you can bring up a one of the telescopes, onboard telescope, just can do a scan from the surface. You can zoom in and have a closer look. Right. So yeah, it does that, and you see that to the right of it is another ship, quite a large one as well. And by the looks of it, it's hit the ground hard, slid along and gouged out a long trail, probably about half a mile, because it was doing some speed. It's ripped the back end of the engines off as well and what have you. But yeah, there's a crashed ship on the surface. And you can also see the stencil on top of it. And by the looks of it, this particular ship belongs to Wayne Tanaka, a rival company. So anyway, welcome back. As we left it, there was nobody in that room where you heard the knocking from. And yeah, Jake, you look down on the starship below, and yeah, it appears to be a Wayne Tanaka vessel.
Can I identify?
Here.
Yeah, I'd like to identify.
Yeah, by looking at it
type.
to the west, you can actually see it's a survey vessel, a bit like the Pericles, but a bit older. And you can actually see it's up the name up the side of it. It's DSSV Vladivostok. So yeah, it's an old ship, an old chunky ship. But yeah, she's come down really hard. By the looks of it, she hit belly first. It's tore all the back end off, but you can't fully tell from this distance, and you can't get any readings through whatever interference there is in the atmosphere.
Lexi, do you read?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just have visibility on the planet now, and found one of Wayne Tanaka's ships crashed down. They weren't as fortunate as us, apparently. Do you have any info on any survey vessels from Wayne Tanaka in this area?
Not to my knowledge, but I'm not at any consoles at the minute. But as soon as I do, I'll see what this shit this can pick up, because they're obviously not supposed to be. But we were gone for 18 months. Anything could have happened that we don't know about yet.
Yeah, it's just another mining dispute between two companies. We're stuck in the middle.
Can I look up the technical specs for that class of ship? At all?
It's a survey ship. They were built specifically as survey ships. Because do you want to pull up that picture actually again? Sorry, Tony, for the third ship.
While he does that, Raymond, I go on to the comms. Raymond.
Raymond.
Ray.
Ilan. Ramon.
Yeah.
You better can we? I know it takes a long time, but can we send communications back to base?
Oh yeah, no, I'm definitely recording everything.
I won't get it for 18 months.
Yeah. I am recording. I am sending reports. I'm
okay.
Crossing the T's and dotting the I's.
That's a long.
Oh, cool.
So that's all the information you can pull up about a Vladivostok class vessel. As you can see, it's mainly engines. Everything that you see on it in the black is mainly engine and sensor equipment, because that's just the way that she was designed. Like I say, it's an older class vessel, so the sensors are rather chunky and outdated.
Yeah, I'm just thinking. I don't know the technical details of that. I'm just thinking, this ship, could it have beaten us here?
You won't know unless you get down there and have a look.
Hmm.
But she seems to have suffered the same fate, engine-wise, as the Pericles.
Yeah.
From what engine parts you can see, it looks like they've expanded and exploded and ruptured.
Yeah.
So obviously it would be the same problem.
They tried the same thing, and being an older ship, it just didn't work, I guess. And
well, the Gannet was retrofitted and put with modern stuff. Nobody's say that the Wayne Tanaka didn't have the same type of improvements based on
yeah, but Cambridge Wallace had more time to retrofit than anybody else did, right?
Well, who's to say they didn't get here first?
Unless Harris was feeding them information on the way back.
Well, we might be the ones reacting. They might have been the ones getting here first.
No, because the Pericles would have known about that, which means Cambridge Wallace would have known about it.
Maybe there is a reason he's taken up smoking so much.
Okay.
Well, they crashed, so
you're in this corridor, and then the next room that you can move into is room 3.
Yeah.
Which is the common room.
well, we're just going to forge forward. I'm going to knock again.
There's no answer.
There's no answer, so we'll Lexi, a step aside for Lexi.
Beep boop.
You step forward. Yeah, you beep boop, and you do the bypass. The door slides open. You've got a common room, which seems to have fared a little bit better than the rest of the ship. There is still loads of crap all over the floor from obviously the ship getting violently thrown about. For some strange reason, there's loads of cornflakes everywhere from one of the food containers, all over the counter. They're a little bit soggy as well because lots of the sprinklers went off. So yeah, it's like when you walk in there, there's like a half an inch of water on the floor. There's also a burst pipe as well, and you can see that to the right, spraying out all over the place. But yeah, other than that, everything else seems to be intact. In the very centre of the room where the number 3 is a large circular table. It looks a bit like the chess table for the Millennium Falcon. It's all laid out, and there's all bits and bobs all crapped out, and it's slightly at an angle because its base is cracked. And underneath it, sticking out, toes down, you see a pair of legs.
The legs attached to her body.
Legs are attached to a body, yeah, which is slightly out of sight on the other side of the table.
That's okay. Wanted to check that.
The important questions first.
Yeah, I don't mind seeing dead people. I just don't like seeing dead legs.
Yeah. I don't like dead legs. I hate them. Oh my lord! Especially at 2 in the morning when you need the toilet. It's like, oh no, not now. I wet myself again. So anyway,
We shut the door anyway.
Yeah.
Because obviously, if anything, anyone opens
the room's
anything, our door-
pressurised. Yeah,
Yeah, but
yeah, the room's pressurised and it has gravity. But the only light is from your suit helmets. As soon as the suits detect darkness, the lights come automatically. The big one on the top. That's the only light in this room. All the other lights are shorted out, even the emergency lights.
Oh, the next question was before you said that, was going to look for the light switch.
Somebody turned off the emergency lights.
It wasn't an emergency, obviously.
So, there's medical. I will go straight over to the dead legs.
Yeah. They're attached to a dead body, and this is the engineering officer, Hunstatten. Yeah, he's quite dead.
How dead? How well, no, I mean, don't mean.
Well, how dead? I'd say end of life dead. You know what I mean?
He was killed by
engineer.
that.
He's only mostly dead.
Dead.
I meant-
dead.
I missed a few words. How did he die?
That's better. By ending, basically, his heart stopped working,
Yeah.
and
He stopped breathing.
no, he's yeah. So yeah, I'm glad we're using all these medical terms. So yeah, so he's very
unalive.
dead anyway. But he's unalive. He's an ex-dude. Yeah, he's dead. By the looks of it, though, the back of his
Did you
head.
say he was deceased? Oh, okay.
Yeah, with a capital D. Yeah, by the looks of it, the back of his head's all caved in. It literally, it's like when you're pushing a half deflated football, and it sort of leaves that dent. That's the back of his skull right now, back of his head, and it's all just matted with blood and bits of brain matter. Very dead.
Does it look like, as in my medical knowledge, I'm going to have to do a roll on this. Does it look like he just sort of banged it, or someone cracked it with some kind of like force, whoosh, like that?
Make a medical roll. Roll a d6, add your education, and add your medical score. The
And
difficulty
add
is
your
going
own
to be
sound
7.
effects.
Hey,
Yeah.
well, add medical score. Oh, 1.
Yeah. What's your medical? Is it +2? Is it your primary? Is medical your primary?
Yes.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
education and
Is
+2
4,
and plus a d6.
6.
Yeah.
So a D6 plus a D6.
D6 plus. So the education's 4, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's D6 plus 6. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's what I said. And it was an 8.
Brilliant. And I repeated it because I'm just that kind of person. So yeah, definitely. Well, he's definitely dead. His back of his head's caved in. Looking at the damage in the room, it seems unlikely that he did that. That's just part of what happened. I mean, there's a few containers lying around. Unless he was killed by a giant fucking cornflake, there's not much that could have done that. So yeah, it looks decidedly dodgy.
He's been thwacked on the back of the head by something or someone.
By something.
I'm searching the room
Yeah.
for any giant cornflakes.
Make a education roll. D6 plus your basic education. Yeah, this education roll.
Oh, we're
sorry,
looking for a look. Oh, you really want me to search for
Well,
a
no,
giant
I'm
cornflake?
sorry.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah, don't worry about the roll then. But what you do find is a power hammer covered in hair and gore, lying by the door, leading up further up the ship.
Is that me? I find
Somebody's
it.
obviously somebody smashed his brains in and then just dropped it. And power hammers are big. I mean, literally they use a gas canister to aid the swing. So where you were probably hitting him with 20 pounds of power, this would triple that. So someone just smashed the back of his head in with 60 pounds of power. Which is surprised it didn't take his head clean off, to be fair.
So I grab this thing. I kind of hold it up so that Judd can see it. And
Yeah.
I'm like, holy shit. Do I need to make a pressure roll for that?
I'm going to say yes, actually.
Yeah.
Go for it, yeah.
And for the rules, what's pressure roll and what do you have to roll for that?
I have failed, so I'm going up 1.
You get a pressure level of 1, yeah. Basically, with pressure, to see if you handle situations or not, you add your strength to your education. scores, and then you roll a d6, and you've got to roll 10 or more. If you roll 10 or more, then you're a little bit stunned, but you're okay. You've kind of handled the shit. If you roll less than 10, then it's like, oh my god, I've just peed myself. Yeah. You cannot move or make any actions for one round because you're in shock. And then the more pressure points you build up, the more chances you have of having an episode, which is basically flipping out and doing something silly or something happening to you that you can't control.
Wow, sounds like the menopause.
Yeah. Oh god! Well, I'm not going to make any comments on that. One, I'm not a doctor, and two, I don't get smashed in the face. So yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just kind of standing there holding this thing, kind of.
Yeah.
With a big dumb look on my face.
Yeah.
Holy shit!
What's that? What's going on?
And I hold up the end that's got the bit of hair and stuff on it.
Oh, he must have fell into that.
Nice one, Sherlock.
Yeah.
I mean, didn't we were warned about this Harris? It might be not bad of a warning at this point. I think I will just have a little glance over of my rifle just to double check.
Yeah, it's loaded.
Yeah.
Wasn't who was it? So who? How many? Can we get to the log on whose staff was on the ship?
I mean, no, we need to find out whether or not this happened before or after the ship.
Well, we can do all that once we've got all the way through and checked who survived and who's not.
No, because that means that she's still fucking alive. If this happened afterwards, she's still here somewhere.
Well, yeah, but how do we find that out?
You're the fucking doctor. Why are you asking me?
Are there any terminals in here?
No, not in the common room.
I can't do. Would I be able to tell how long? Well, no. I just turn around to him and say, right, okay, I might be a doctor, but I don't know how long he's been down here. I don't know how long the ship's been stuck. So these things, you have to have A and B to make C. And right now we've got Z.
You sound like a really bad Bose McCoy. You know what I mean? I'm a doctor, Jim, not a doctor. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But you fucking scientist. You're always trying to show how smart you are by using algebra for everything.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah, is he bendy? Because if he's not bendy, he's got rigor mortis.
Amazingly, he isn't that bendy. And going by how bendy he is, as weird as this is getting now, Stretch Armstrong, you probably estimate he's probably been dead about 12 hours.
Yeah, I'm not doing that, Flea. Okay, I'll say we're approximately 12 hours. So at the log, do we know how long the ship's been here? So we need to get up to the bridge, don't we? We need to get.
I can't access anything from. There's no. I need an actual terminal to be able to access any of the logs.
Okay. Is there any sheeting or anything like lying around or tablecloth?
Yeah. There's I think there's a coat, somebody's coat, with loads of badges on it, which you can put over him, if that's what you want to do. Unless you're just looting the place.
No, I'm just going to cover him over.
Yeah. And then do you want to go to the next door?
Jacket.
Hey, I'll take that. Find another one. So, yeah. The next door, do you want to pass through?
Yeah.
Hey, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, once again, you do it. The door opens. The pressure equalizes, so there's no problem behind the door. As you head past the two doors for bunks 2A and 2B, those two doors are open. You see in 2A, the area in those bunk rooms where the long sleep pods are also act as life pods, just in case anything happens whilst you're in transit and you're asleep and you can't do anything about it. You notice that the life pods have ejected from room 2A. So the blast doors come down to seal the room, and a life pod's been ejected. Now these life pods are pretty good. It's like the entire room gets blown out the ship, and then they can be guided down to the surface.
Oh.
If that's what's happened.
Which must have happened.
So only one's gone, did you say, or two? Both?
Just the one. Room 2A.
This one.
The life pod's been ejected.
Do we know how many people they hold? Sorry, did you say? Was I?
2 people.
2 people.
There's 2 pods. There's 2 long sleep pods in each room.
Right.
So it looks like somebody might have got out.
I mean, that must be why there's communication channel open on the planetoid, right?
I mean, it makes sense. But it's just figuring
go back
out
to Jay
who.
for a second.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, go on. Yeah. Jay, you're doing your adjustments. You're making sure the ship still lines up. That's the planetoid's rotated around, so that disc is directly below you, and the disc is still directly below you.
Maybe I'm going to take advantage of that kind of hole in the atmosphere and try to communicate down to the planet.
Okay, yeah. You send the transmission down. By the looks of it, the open channel goes directly to the Vladivostok, but there's still no answer. But what's strange is that you're still over the black spot.
So something stopped rotating.
By the looks of it, yeah, the actual planetoid itself has stopped rotating, and the black spot is just sat directly below your orbit.
That doesn't make sense, but I need Judd here to kind of make sense of all that science stuff and rotation and everything. Judd, can you hear me?
Sorry, there's no signal.
I can't hear you, sorry.
You need A and B
Yeah, it's
to make Z, okay?
it's strange. I've been observing the planet and you know it's been rotating and finally got to the point where I see a clearing and I can see the object of interest. In addition to a crashed ship from Wayne Tanaka Industries, but the planet looks like it stops rotating, like it's still there. I could still see, like, straight down in. Do you have anything on the Pericles?
The way the black spot is,
yeah.
The way the black spot is, you know, the way if you look at a human eye, where they are real close up, and it looks like the human eye sort of disappears into blackness where the pupil is. That's kind of what it looks like looking down on this black spot. It's like a giant eye. It's just like the planet itself is looking at you.
Well, while you're on the Pericles, I mean, they were outfitted for that. Can you see if there's any instrumentation there where you can do better scans of this planet and see what's going on? I don't think our ship is outfitted for that kind of thing, but while you're on the Pericles, maybe you make that your priority where everybody else goes and looks for survivors. By the way, did you ever find that knock? Who was knocking back? Any more survivors there?
No, it was just debris hitting against the wall. We found 2 dead.
That's a shame.
Yeah, one of them fell into
there's
a
nothing we
power
can do about
tool,
that
and
now.
one of them had something go through their head.
Well, they did have a pretty rough stop like we had. But yeah, maybe prioritize trying to do scans of the planet with the equipment that they have on board there. You can let.
Well, we're just heading up to the bridge now.
All right.
We'll head up to the bridge, see what we can sort out.
Yeah, you get up to the bridge. Again, you can go up to the controls. At this point, I'm going to need to know who's going first, what your marching order is. No reason.
Oh, well, I just went stomping off, so it's probably me.
You're up ahead, yeah?
Yeah.
Who's going next?
I'll be going next.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Being at the rear.
Yeah.
The size of your spacesuits, yeah, you can't really stand side by side in this corridor. It's not narrow if you weren't wearing a suit, but you are wearing a suit, so you're wearing these big chunky suits. Jake, it suddenly strikes you just how beautiful the planet is, even though it's just white cloud, and it is like staring into an iris, being really close up to a gigantic eye, and for some reason it feels enticing, inviting, almost as if that is where you need to be. That's how it feels. But it's just a fleeting feeling that comes over you, and then you hear the sounds over the comms of the door opening into the cockpit. Door slides open. The cockpit is actually really big. It's designed for it to be spacious so that people can work with big, massive windows so you can see everything around. There's virtually no light in here. The only light that's coming through the window is the reflection from the surface of the planet. So it's reflected light from a dying star, so it's very, very dim with a weird red tinge to it. And it's almost pink almost. It's that sort of shining through. It's like a sickly colour. There's a little bit of damage in here. You see a few consoles have blown out, chairs tipped over, come off its stand, but other than that, it's at the front of the ship, so it seems to be unaffected. But standing at the very front of the bridge is it's a man. And he's standing there. He's in his flight suit. He's stripped down. He's taken the top of the flight suit off and tied the arms around his waist, so he's just in his t-shirt. And you can see the name of the ship, of the Pericles, DSSV Pericles, along the back, in big proud white letters. And he's just standing there, and he just appears to be sobbing as he's staring down at the planet. And you see the planet is stopped, and the planet is literally just sat there staring at your ships. And he's sobbing. And as you're standing in the doorway, he slowly turns around, and you see that it's looking from the file image. It's Captain Sampson, and he looks injured. His left arm looks like it's broken. It's at an unnatural angle, but it's just hanging limply. He's not even paying any attention to it. He's got a bit of a head wound, and he's got blood coming out of his ears, but he's also got tears streaming down his face. And he sort of looks at you and he beams. Even though he's knackered and his arm's fucked and he's got blood pissing down his eyes, he turns around and he looks at you and he smiles with such affection. It's huge. You can almost, it's like emanating love and assurance. And he just looks at you and smiles, and he motions to the window, to the planet below, and says, "She's calling, and she is so beautiful." And that is where we're going to leave it for this evening.
What?